Okay. How are we doing? What do I need to do? I need to make a little tweet to say that I'm live. Copy link. I'm not sure how many of us will get in, lads, but we'll see. We'll see how many we manage to get in. I am doing a multi-stream thing. I don't know what. Well, I know what that is. I've just not used it before. So we'll see that. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch for the first time. Making my Twitch debut. Noah Brooks. I swear, Noah, you're the first one. In every stream I do, even though I don't do that many on my own. But I do really appreciate you being in nice and early, Noah. I do really appreciate it, man. Hope you're well. Yeah, hope you're really well. I'm just making a little tweet about the stream. Building lineups. Ian, what's going on, man? Something to listen to whilst making dinner. Love that, mate. Really appreciate you popping in. Just making a little tweet and we'll get cracking in terms of lineup building, but just tweeting out that I'm live building lineups for game week 359. Do a little tweet, Rooney. Yeah, but hope you're well, lads. Noah's got his notifs on. Love that, mate. Love that. I do really appreciate it, mate. How are you looking for this weekend, lads? In terms of lineups. Miguel, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, okay, we can get the old live screen up. Live screen? I don't know what I've called my... I don't even know what they're called, but whatever this little setup is, I've got it down as a live screen, which is interesting. But yeah, hope we're all well, lads. Let me know how you're looking for this weekend. How many teams you've got out. I'll be intrigued to know. The Sorare experts. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. We're just going to do some casual lineup building, lads. We will have probably time to do a bit of lineup building for yourselves. I can go on the community tab on Sorare data and we can kind of, make some lineups for you guys if you're stuck or you're just a bit unsure, as we all are normally, in terms of who to pick this weekend, if you've got some choices. So yeah, I'm just going to tweet that. Okay, that's out. Interesting. Olympic manager, what's going on, mate? Hope you're having a good Thursday. Okay, so tweets out. That's that. Just want to check if I am live. Oh yeah, I'm live on Twitch as well, which is interesting. Lads, if you're watching me on Twitch, thank you. I don't know how Twitch works. I gotta be honest. Never really used Twitch before, but obviously we're here for the lineup building, lads, aren't we? He's looking forward to his Argentinos Juniors stack playing tonight. Yeah, there's a couple games tonight, isn't there? All early hours of tomorrow, I guess. Raysol playing the J League, and then yeah, like you said, the Argentinos Juniors boys are playing against. Who are they playing against? That's a good question. They are playing against Defensia. I have a player playing for Defensia. I'm not sure if he's going to start, but he should be in the squad. And then juniors are playing Godoy Cruz. And like I said, Raysol at home to Uara Reds. Jonathan, what's going on, man? 14 limited lineups for me this game week, so I have a huge headache with building them. Well, yeah, towards the end of the stream, Jonathan will maybe build one of your most prioritized lineups, maybe as a little community, because why not? And see what we come up with in terms of In terms of a build, I have been liner building throughout the week, so I've got like a decent idea of where I want to go with things this week. It is the first week of the new Super Rare threshold, so I'm trying to, in a weird way, prioritize that. Even though I haven't won it yet, I do really want to try and win it, because $200 is a decent chunk of Ethereum, which would be nice to win. DMPs, injuries, and God knows what else have sort of hampered my ability to even get close to it. To be honest, I don't think I've got close once. I haven't even got close on the rare threshold, which is alarming. But like I said, I was building yesterday, just messing around with things, and I managed to get two. I got a cap 240 super rare and a cap 240 rare, like on the dot. There, I capped out 240 points. I didn't waste a single point, which was good. Ali Ahmed, hello Harry, how are you doing? Ali, I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking, and I hope you're doing equally as well. Miguel says it's 3 limited lineups for him. Love that. Jonathan, still on the hunt for the top 10 in under 23 this midweek. Oh yeah, you've still got, I guess, you've got the Race All boys still playing, still to play. Koga and the striker, Hoyasa, whatever his name is. So good luck to you, Jonathan, for that. But yeah, my priority this week is Cap 240 Super Rare, and I dare to say it, but I am kind of prioritizing Cap 240 Rare. I'm just trying to win as much ETH as I can, basically, because I've got a lot of injuries right now. Quite a few goalkeepers are uncertain / injured. So for me, like I'm sort of consolidating right now in terms of my players. I'm trying to be not as liquid. I'm not looking to sell anyone really, but I am trying to win as much Ethereum as I can. Is kind of the goal. I did get a few offers though on my Zaidu Yusuf unique card, so I've got that listed for sale for 1.8 ETH right now. And yeah, I had an offer of 1.1 ETH earlier, but I think it's a little bit low for my liking. I would like a little bit more. I ideally like 1.7 ish. if I'm being picky. I mean, I'd probably take some sort of bundle around like 1.6 probably. But 1.1 is a bit too low for my liking. And yeah, he's up for, like I said, 1.8. But not really looking to sell anyone else, really. I mean, I'm not in a big rush to sell him. It's just right now, like I said, I've got quite a few injuries and sort of worries around if Tani's going to play in terms of my super goalkeeper. So, I can't really utilize my Zaidu unique card as much as I'd like to right now. So that's, obviously quite frustrating, but, it is what it is. What we got going on in the chat? Olympic manager, Harriger. I just mixed Harry and manager. Olympic manager says, Harry, could you pick my teams for me this week? It would be really good to see what you do with a dodgy gallery like mine. Of course, yeah, we'll get into your gallery, Olympic manager. What is your gallery name? Just so I can, pop it in when we do go over to do that. Ian says, 3 captain limited and a Tyrrell stack in rare kickoff for me this week. Interesting. Who are Tyrrell playing this week, Ian? And then Noah says, don't blame you, not crossed your mind to get some non-under 23s for capped. It has crossed my mind, to be fair. No, I did have a, before the new threshold come in, actually, like 2 weeks ago, I sold a Yondre Yedelin super rare for probably cheaper than I should have. And he was like my only over 23 sort of super rare. Yeah, I have thought about it, definitely. If I had a bit of ETH, I would probably, I wouldn't be shy in terms of trying to get some super rares that aren't under 23 for sure. Miguel says he is linked with a top 3 club in Portugal. Who's that you're on about? Oh, Zaidu is, sorry. Yeah. There is a few links. There's Fenerbahce links as well. Olympic manager's given us his so rare handle, so we'll have a little look at that later. Thank you for doing that, mate. But yeah, I've basically got 3 playing goalkeepers this weekend who I mean, touch wood, know are going to play, right? So those are Bart Verbruggen. He looks to be back from his little viral infection that happened to him. I don't think Costa is this... Well, I don't think he's 79% on to play, if I'm being honest. I think these predictions are a little bit wrong. I think it's more 50-50 from what I'm hearing. I've Got a Chris Brady rare card that I'm going to be able to utilize specifically for capped, I think, because his L15 is pretty low. Gaten Cook's injured. Tanny is like a 50-50, even though 96% of people think he's not going to play it. Well, he's going to be on the bench. So yeah, it's basically... Where's my... Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So I've got... These are my under 23 goalkeepers, of course. I do have one over 23 player, and he is a goalkeeper, and I'll show you who he is now. And his name is Igor Leschuk. So he is the Dynamo number 2. It looks like Shunin is going to be out again this weekend. We're not really too sure. If anyone in the chat has any other information, please let me know. But yeah, Shunin pulled out of the Russia squad for the international break. So we think he's going to be injured for this weekend is kind of what the consensus is. And yeah, hopefully Leschuk plays. The only annoying thing is his L15 is pretty high. So I am going to have to spend a lot of the cap on him. But it is what it is. Kerry says, is this live? Yeah, it is live. It should be live. It should be live, Kerry. Let me have a check on my phone if I'm live. I should be live. Yeah, we're live. We're live. Yeah, good afternoon to you, Kerry. Hope you're well. So yeah, that's kind of... This is why I kind of want to try and win the Super threshold as much as I can, because one, I don't know when Leschuk is going to be a number 2 again, i.e. when Shunin's back. I don't know, well, we think Cook's going to be back for in the next like week or so, but there's only like 3 games left of the Belgium League, so that's going to be a bit of a nightmare, because I won't have, a guaranteed playing under 23 goalkeeper or even a Super guaranteed goalkeeper to play. And then you got Tanny, who's obviously, his situation's unstable, so, outside of Leschuk right now, I don't have anyone that I know is going to start this weekend, so I want to take advantage of that, and that's kind of my goal this weekend, is to try and win this cap 240 threshold, basically, in the Super Rare. So, Leschuk has to kind of play. There's nobody else I really have in Super Rare goalkeepers I can play, although his capped is a bit of a nightmare. So, yeah, it kind of just is what it is, right? We kind of have to just roll with the punches with that one. Yeah, so 186 points left for 4 outfield players. Now... Quest is a good choice. I think one great fixture at home. The cost isn't that much. L15 of 48 is decent. His L5, I mean, like recently he hasn't been great in terms of his scoring. So I'm not saying he's a risk, but I don't have full faith in him scoring like a 60 for me. Jonathan says 54 on a goalkeeper is too much. That's painful. It is painful, Jonathan, but I have managed. I'll see if I can show you again if I can remember it. But I have managed to build out a full team, and it just fits into the capped. So basically, yeah, here goes, right? I'm not going to use Questa here because although he is pretty cheap, I do have somebody cheaper that I think will play. And although they're away from home, I do think one, he's going to play, and two, I think he'll score decently well. And that is Tanguy Nianzou. 45 points, L15 of 52, L5 of 52, L15 of 45. Away to Cadiz, new manager for Sevilla. I do think he's going to start. If you look on, this is a website that I use quite frequently, Football Fantasy. It's like a La Liga, fantasy football sort of thing. And yeah, Tanguy's down to start at 80%, Bade at 90. So I'm pretty confident that he plays, if I'm being honest, even though the Sorare data pickers have said there's only 34%, or only 34% of the pickers have projected that he's going to start. But yeah, this is why I tell you guys to just do a little bit more research than what you see on this Sorare data thing, because although it can be quite useful in many ways, in a lot of ways, I do think the community projections can be slightly off in terms of some players. But yeah, like I think my knowledge on Tanguy is like, I'm not just saying it, but I think it's better than whoever's picking these personally. I follow him closer. I own the card, right? So, I'm going to have a bigger and a more sort of profound affiliation to him, and I'm going to have more of a chance of looking out for news from him. I follow all the Sevilla Twitter accounts and stuff, and I'm not saying none of these 35 people who've projected this don't do that, but I still fancy my chances over what they're kind of saying, especially for this player. I'm not saying it for every player because I don't follow every player, right? I'm only going to follow the players I own. So yeah, Tanguy looks to be my starting defender in this little Cap 240. Badiashile, Lads, what do we think about Badiashile? He's down to start like 80% on Sorare, on Play Sharper, and I just don't know if I'm not saying I don't believe it, but like, you can't tell me that Cucurella's only got a 20% chance of starting here. I'm sorry, but that seems a little bit low for my liking. Like, I'm not saying Badiashile won't start, but what I'm saying is I just don't think, I just don't see how Cucurella's at 20%. Let me know what you think about that. Olympic Manager says, only 3 likes. Lads, come on, let's get the likes up. I know there's only 21 of us in here, but please do just get the likes up. I don't know if it's going to help. I don't know if YouTube will like it in terms of the algorithm, but, you know, it's better than nothing. And, yeah, it's free. Just leave a little like, lads, if you're enjoying it. I do really appreciate it. Sir Rob says, I think the Sorare data projections are swayed because I imagine a lot of people are just picking what has already got a high percentage. Just a herd mentality from a lot of them. Yeah, I completely agree with that, mate. That's a really good way of... I've thought about this before, the herd mentality thing. Like, I think that does come into play a lot with this Sorare data projections. And then Jonathan says, I like Balde. Well, actually, I don't fancy Balde to start this weekend, Jonathan. If you go back on Football Fantasy, who follow these sort of things quite rigorously, they have Alba down at 60%. So apparently Xavi has come out and said that they're going to they are going to rest a few players for this game because they have the El Clasico the weekend, the midweek after, I think, against obviously Real Madrid. So I think Balde is going to get rested for this, if I'm being honest. So yeah. Jim says, Cucu only lost his place versus Everton because how they play. He was in good form, 20% if def or low. Yeah, Jim, that's exactly what I was thinking, mate. I just don't see how you can put Cucurella down at 20%, personally. Ian says, Chelsea got Liverpool midweek, so possible rotation, but I don't think Cucurella's a 20. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I forgot that Liverpool play Chelsea midweek, so that does come into things for sure. So maybe Badiashile plays this game at home, and then they go Cucurella against Liverpool. Do they play Liverpool away, I imagine? Ali says, I was just about to say Alba is likely to play. Yeah, I'm not going to risk Balde this weekend at all. So yeah, it kind of just draws me back to Tanguy, right? Because Mabika's not going to play. Campbell's injured. Badiashile, you know, he very well could play. I don't think Nico plays. I don't think Balde starts at least. Balca won't play. And Cuesta should start, but I might have to keep him for under 23 Rare Pro, right? So we're going to throw Tanguy in here. He has the lowest L15 for us. Now, this one's a bit annoying midfielder-wise. This is where I'm sort of most stacked, I guess. But the problem is their costs, or their L15s are a little bit too high for me, right? Ian says Chelsea are at home. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's just kind of picking who or which game Badiashile sort of starts in and which one Cucurella starts in, I think, isn't it? I don't know. It's a weird one. But I'd imagine looking at that Liverpool game as well, yeah, you'd like to think Cucurella maybe comes in for that and then Badiashile starts this weekend. Who knows? But yeah, in terms of midfielders, right, it's a little bit annoying because a lot of the midfielders I want to use, their L15s are just a little bit too high because we've used too much on Leszczuk, basically. They'd be fine normally. So we've got Amaya, Louise, Matson, and Varela. Matson's home to PSV. I don't mind the fixture, but it's not like a smashing fixture. But he is capable of hitting 10 to 15 AA in this game for me. And if he grabs a decisive, then obviously amazing. I don't think I'm going to waste Louise in here. And I don't mean it's a waste, but his L15 is just too high, and I wouldn't be able to justify it basically. With my other selections, Alan Varela's been in and out of the Boca team recently. They got a new manager. They're away from home. I don't love the idea of picking him, but you can see the cost versus the L15 are a little bit skewed. So yeah, I don't know why that is. If you could tell me why, that'd be great. But I think the cost is obviously what we should be using in terms of the cap. Everyone else is kind of out or suspended. Vasharon's obviously injured. Slattery's suspended. Barron will probably be on the bench. Arakai will be on the bench. Suzuki, well, apparently he's not going to be in the squad. Moran won't be in the squad. So yeah, we're still not blessed with options, but we definitely have options. Matson comes in at the lowest L15. Not by a huge amount, but by enough to where we kind of just have to use him. Obviously, I'd prefer to use Amaya, even though he's away from home. And Atlanta are good, but I do think Amaya's AA is going to be a bit better than Matsson's. But I just don't know if I can't justify the L15, which I'll show you in a minute, basically, because it's pretty tight on trying to fit everything in. So I think Matsson has to come in here as the lowest L15. We've got 94 points left. Forwards, we've actually got a couple of options. Brian Aguirre, 51 L15. Suslov, 44, which I think is the best option if we take into consideration his fixture. Jorbe Vertessen's back from injury. He's on L15 of 50, which I like. I think he has more of a chance of playing than this. If we look over to play sharper, the Belgium expert has him down at like 80%. Yeah, so I kind of like the odds on that, if I'm being honest. Greenwood apparently on the bench. Akita probably on the bench, and Jean Mario not on the squad. So again, it kind of has to come down to, I have to use the lowest L15. Otherwise, I just can't squeeze out a team. And if we use Suslov, it then leaves us with 50 points, which leaves us with a few options, right? We go Carlos Cuesta, we go Brian Aguirre. I know it says 51 here, but the cost is actually here at 50. We can't use Amaya, we can't use Luis. We could use Varela, and we could use Balde. We could also use Jorbe Vertessen. Just looking in the chat now. Kerry says, if bidding on a card via bank card, how long does it take to go back into your bank after you outbid it? Is it pretty quick? I'm with Monzo, and it goes back in instantly. I think it depends on who you're with, to be honest, Kerry. I'm not completely sure on that, but my only experience is with Monzo, and that does go back in instantly, if that information helps. So yeah, lads, basically, it's either Jorbe Vertessen, Varela, Brian Aguirre, or Cuesta. I'm kind of shying away from Cuesta because I think I need to use him in under 23 Red Pro. So let's not say Cuesta's an option, right? It's basically Brian, Balde, Varela, and Vertessen. I like Vertessen's fixtures probably the best at home. USG at home, you'd like to favour them to score a few goals. Bookies fancy them. They're 32% chance of scoring 3 or more goals, which I do really like. Where you look at Brian Aguirre, they're away from home against 23rd in the league, fair enough, but they only have an 8% chance of scoring 3 or more, right? Not to say that Aguirre couldn't get a good AA score, because his AA has been pretty good recently. If we look on form, we can see his AA has been 9.1. That's over the last 15. Last 5, it's been 9. What has Jorbe? See, 3.4. That's the issue with Jorbe, is, he's basically is DA or bust with him. Kerry says he's just opened a Monzo account this week. Yeah, that'll be perfect, Kerry. So yeah, it's either Jorbe Vertessen, but he is a DA or miss guy, if we're being honest. Varela does have a decent AA, 11.1, and he does fit into the cap, but I'm not completely sure he plays. What has the Boca guy got him down as here? See, 45%, and I don't love those odds, if I'm being honest. Like, I'd prefer not to play with fire if I don't need to, and in this case, I don't. We can go with Jorbe, who's at 80%. We can go with Aguirre, who's at, I think Aguirre's at like 85%. Let's have a little look. Newell's All Boys, yeah. Brian Aguirre, 85%. So for me, lads, it probably has to. It's between Aguirre and Vertessen. Vertessen's got the home fixture. The issues with me. Okay, this is the contemplation, lads. Right? We got Aguirre away from home. He has better AA, but the chances are Newell's won't score as many goals as USG. And then you got Jorbe, who's at home. I'd argue and say it's a better fixture. They got more chance of scoring 3 or more goals. The only issue I have with Jorbe is, and you wouldn't know this by just looking at the 2 players in this Sorare data thing. I only know this because I watch him quite often and I follow his sort of trajectory, and he seems to get brought off around like the 65th minute, like most games. So I've basically got 65 minutes for a Jorbe Vertessen DA effectively, because his AA score isn't really going to do it for me. So let me know what you do. Would you play it? I mean, I'm not going to call the Aguirre safe, but would you go with the more DA-capable striker, even though he's away from home, who probably plays 90 minutes? Or are you going to go for the striker that has a good home fixture, good chance of scoring a DA, but if he doesn't score a DA, he ain't going to have any AA, basically, is Jorbe Vertessen. So I'd be interested to see where you would go with that one. They both cost the exact same amount on the cap, so they're both 50 points, and I have 50 points left, so it fits perfect. Let me know which forward you would take there in that case. Because I fancy Leszczyk to get a clean sheet if he plays. I fancy Tanga to get a clean sheet and a decent AA. Let's say he gets 20 AA. Leszczyk gets a clean sheet. Matson, again, home, but PSV is going to be a tough fixture. Really tough. I hope they don't get battered. If they concede a couple, then obviously that'll affect his AA game. Hopefully, they can keep it tight and he can get a few interceptions, maybe a few tackles. I have the midfielder card. There is a forward card as well. And then I've got Seslov's forward card, who seem to do pretty well on AA, specifically interceptions, tackles, duels won. And obviously, if he can nick a goal, then great. They are away from home, though, to Fortuna. But, I do fancy them to maybe nick a goal or two. Kerry says home fixture. Phil says it's decisions like these that make Sorare so fun and so infuriating at the same time. Phil, you've hit the nail on the head. It is so infuriating, isn't it? To kind of just... I mean, it's fun. It's a fun contemplation to have, but after the fact, after they've played, it just becomes a nightmare when you've picked the wrong player, right? Another thing that bugs me about this choice, lads, is that Brian Aguirre actually plays tomorrow. And we all know, Jonathan has said, Brian, we all know what Fridays can be like on Sorare. I think I developed the Friday curse for a little while, and I've not managed to shake that off. I had a non-card curse for a while. I couldn't win a card for 12 game weeks. I finally won a card, so that curse has been lifted. I don't think I've lifted the Friday curse yet, and I'm hoping if we do go with Brian that he can lift that for us. Most of the chat is saying Brian. CJT says I'd pick Aguirre. Vitesse coming back from injury may just come off the bench. It's a fair assumption. Vitesse did score for the under-21s in the midweek against Japan. So, you'll have a bit of confidence coming from international duty with the under-21s. But like you said, yeah, there is that doubt a little bit in my mind that, Vitesse could potentially get sort of, just come off the bench type of thing, which does obviously kill us because then we're really, 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 reliant on that DA more so than we would be if he started. Okay. Jonathan says, with Brian, you get the AA potential. You go for the AA and not only DA. Yeah, fair enough. Kerry says, nothing worse than a Friday game killing your lineup. Kerry, honestly, there actually is anything. Well, I tell you what's worse. When you're past the deadline on Friday, 3 p.m. or whatever it is, and then at 4 o'clock, you find out the X, Y, and Z player have got injured and they're not even going to be in the squad. That's kind of the worst one, but yeah, there's nothing worse than the actual Friday game as well, killing your lineup. Matt said, I've had loads of Burnley players sprinkled in my lineups. Need a good Friday. Ooh, do they play Friday, Matt? I wasn't sure when. I think they play Sunderland, don't they? Okay, we'll go with Brian then. We'll save that and we'll go over to Sorare and throw that lineup into our Cap 240 Super Rare team so we can get that locked in. So Leszczyk, we're going to go with Tanguy. We'll get in Matson, Suslov, and Brian Aguirre. No captain in Cap 240, so that is all confirmed. That is all saved. Now, next up, we're probably going to go with under 23 Rare Pro, lads. This is the competition that I have most success in, but equally it is very, very competitive of late, and always has been, but it's just becoming ridiculously competitive, which is fine. Just checking up on the chat. CJT, I saw that. Only played 45, so you may get rested with an easier home fixture. I'll come off early anyway. Not an easy decision, only £200 on the line. Yeah, no, the decision does become a lot more scrutinized and I guess more just a lot more pressure on it, I guess. Yeah, when there's a little when the prize line has doubled effectively from the last threshold. Olympic Manager says, if Play Sharper says a player is 80%, are you putting him into your team? I'm not playing Evander for Portland Timbers ATM, and he's just been boosted up to 80%, so I'm now thinking again. Yeah, if a player's 80% on Play Sharper, more times than not he's probably going to play, right? The Badiashile one for me, I don't think Badiashile deserves to be at 80%, but that's a different situation to this Evander one. I don't know the Evander situation, but if he's at 80%, chances are he's probably going to play, if we're being honest. I wouldn't really worry about that too much in terms of him not playing. And he's a DP. I know he hasn't been great so far, but Evander's probably going to play. Jonathan says you are already at a disadvantage because of Magnus' fixture. I think Brian with the DANA potential can cover for that. Fair enough. That's a good point. Kerry says Evander's been awful. Yeah, he hasn't been great. He's got to improve. Surely, Olympic says, I'd probably have to agree with that. I think he does improve. Okay, under 23 Rare Pro, it looks like Bart Verbruggen is going to be our goalkeeper for this. Brady I'd like to play Brady, but chances are he won't get a clean sheet, and his L15 is too low for us. We're not going to play Verbruggen in cap 240, and we don't know Costa's situation, right? So right now, Costa, he was at 50%. I haven't checked Twitter for a little while, so I don't know if anything changed, but yeah. Costa's at 50%. I'm not going to risk that. Obviously, in one of my three sort of most valued and most prestigious, I guess, lineups this weekend, and prioritize. So Bart goes in there. Away to UPenn is a decent fixture. Like I don't know if they're going to get the clean sheet. They've got a good chance to, but it's not a given. And then this is where it comes down to our outfield players. We have quite a lot of defenders to choose from. Not too many super rares. Obviously, Cuesta being Badiashile, you could argue, is a good option as well. But I just don't know how comfortable I'd be in playing Badiashile in here, where we kind of know Quest is going to play. He has a great fixture. Yeah, his AA game hasn't been great, but I'd like to think that he could get us over the line and get us a nice little 25 AA maybe. And then from that, obviously, with the super rare bonus, you're looking at nearly 75, 80 points. Maybe is kind of the strategy there. Loads of rare defenders to use. Dedic looks to have a great fixture. Deco Romeo, I haven't played him yet in my lineups. I bought him before the international break, and obviously he hasn't played since. I don't know. I don't think I need to risk him here. I think he's at 70% on Play Sharper. Timber away to Go Ahead Eagles. I mean, it's a good fixture, but we say that every week for Timber, and he always lets us down. So I don't know if he deserves to be trusted here. Carlos Turan is a new player in my squad as well, and he plays for Chicago Fire, so he's going to be part of my sort of summer under 23 plans. Jonathan says, you need to get the Bast for that stack, really. Yeah, I'd like to get... If I was going to get the Bast, I'd probably want a super rare. I don't really want a rare, if I'm being honest, because, I'd ideally try and sell Cuesta at some point, because he ages out, and eventually somehow get into a Debast super rare to part with Verbruggen. But... yeah, I don't know. We've got Wesley down here who's at 70%, but on here he's 67% likely to not even be in the squad, which it just shows the herd mentality maybe is what we sort of called it earlier. Bella Kotchap looks to be out as well. Diallo's done his ACL, and the rest of these boys are out. So it's slim pickings really in terms of super rares, but I'll show you who I've got for midfield. So we've got Enzo at the top, who I would like to play, but... I don't know if it's going to be possible, and I'll show you why. How about doing an MLB draft ahead of the season starting deadline tonight? We could do that. I'm not really too much into my MLB, but we'll have a little gander. We'll have a little look on there. I haven't done one of the drafts on there before, so maybe we'll dabble into that for sure if we've got time. But yeah. Midfielders, like I said, Enzo, Luis probably has to play here because otherwise he's not really going to play anywhere else. So I think we need to just throw Luis in because it just ticks off one of our sort of super rare midfielders and one of our two sort of super rares in this lineup. We've got two amazing forward options, lads, for our rares, right? Vinny at home to Valladolid and Ferreira at home to Portland Timbers, RIP Evander. Triple A pick scores on Sorare data, and this is kind of why I want to play a super rare defender, because then that allows me to go with double forward. Kula has a good fixture away to Everton. Cherokee doesn't have a great fixture. Obviously, we still got Yorbe down there as well. Show off your baseball knowledge. Mate, I've not a clue about baseball. I'll be completely honest, but I'll try. So yeah, Vinny and Ferreira really feels like the sort of forward pairing I need to pick here. Kerry says, I'm so jealous of these choices you have. It's taken a long time, Kerry, to get to this position, I'll be honest, in terms of like some of the choices I have. It's been a long 28 months, maybe 27 months of playing this game religiously. And obviously, you know, a lot of luck along the way and whatever. But yeah, I think, I don't know whether it's the AAA that's kind of baiting me into want to play in these guys, but I do really fancy both of their fixtures. Both at home. You've got to fancy a DA for both of these. And that's kind of where I'm sort of heading here, is kind of going with two forwards. Florentino Luis. All I want from Luis is a 25-30 AA, which is not much to ask for him, although he's away from home. Miguel says he's going to see the Benfica game. Rio Ave is a good team, but I think Benfica get an easy win. That's amazing that you're going to watch that. I'd love to go watch Benfica play. I'm very jealous. But yeah, hopefully Benfica do get the win, like you said, and hopefully my Luis can get a decent AA score. But CTJ says Vinny has to be a sure thing. Yeah, Vinny's a sure thing. Ferreira's a sure thing. It's just a defender, right? And yeah, I could go with one super rare and play and play one of my rares if I really wanted to. But I don't know. I think there's just less upside in it in terms of the options I have. And I think Cuesta really is, and I know I talk about safe a lot, like, you know, picking the safe player. And I probably am too conservative sometimes. But in this scenario, like, my contemplation is, do I go Cuesta or Badiashile, right? Do I need the worry of not knowing if Badiashile's not going to play? Probably not. Like, is the upside worth it? Yeah, they're at home, but Villa are no mugs. Like, I do see a world where Villa score, where Cuesta, Genk at home to Leuven. I feel like it's a much easier game. Although I do believe in Badiashile's AA game more than I do Cuesta's. So it's an interesting one. But for me, I think for the sake of my sanity, in terms of just kind of knowing that he's going to play, even though, look, touch wood, he doesn't, but he's been injured in training before and he's killed me. That's Cuesta I'm referring to. So I'm not saying he's guaranteed to play, but he's way more guaranteed to play than Badiashile is, in my opinion. And for that reason, I think I do have to just go with him, lads. Let me know what you think about that decision. And then in terms of captaincy, I think it has to be Vinny, doesn't it? He's equally as decisive capable as Ferreira, but I feel like his AA game, you know, in a game like this, he's just going to be, you know, hopefully all out, sort of just attack after attack and sort of getting those penalty area entrances and attempted assists and hopefully assists. Kerry says Chelsea can't be trusted right now, which is probably a really good way of summing them up right now, yeah, to be honest, Kerry. So yeah, I kind of do, sort of emulate what you say there. Under 23 super rare, that is that out the way. Let's register that into Sorare. So we'll go Verbruggen. We'll go, where's Cuesta? Florentino Luis, almost at 30% bonus, lads. I've almost capped him out at level 20. Vinny at 10%, and then Ferreira at 7.5. Unfortunately, my Ferreira lost his 5% season bonus with the new MLS cards coming out. So that is 2 out of 3 of our main lineups done. And then the next main lineup on paper is Cap 240 Rare. Now, don't have much choice here, lads. If I want a guaranteed starter, it kind of has to be Chris Brady. And in terms of his L15, it just has to be him, doesn't it? It's just an obvious one. We'll have a scan through of what we've got left in terms of other sort of positions. But here are the defender options, all around the sort of 48 to sort of, you know, Timber being a sort of a middle of the range 50 player at 56. We've got Fofana at 52. The rest 48s and 51s, like I said. Midfielders, obviously, we've got Enzo in there. We've got Mickey Doolan, who's a AAA because he only costs 37 points. And he is at home. He has a good fixture. So I think I have to take advantage of that low L15 here if I want to play Enzo. It's basically a Maya, Enzo, and Doolan. I don't really have anyone else that's going to play. Pedri's still injured. Jonathan says Bart might be a good captain's choice. Come on, not over Vinny at home, surely. Surely to God. CJT says, yeah, I don't even think Graham Potter could tell you who is going to start for us against Villa. That is a good A good way to kind of describe it, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's only Thursday. You'll probably know tomorrow. I'd like to hope. I hope he wouldn't leave it to the day of the game. But yeah, Mickey kind of has to be in here because, again, a low L15 option. We kind of needed to balance out the rest of our guys. Only 3 strikers available, and that is Kulusevski, Cherki, and Sanchez. Sanchez being out of, well, he's not going to be in the Gladbach, first team. So it's Cherki or Kulusevski. Kulu, lower L15, better fixture for me. Bit of an obvious one, so I think Kulu has to just picks himself. And then we have 119 points left, lads. And it's kind of funny because my OCD wants to go with the combination of, even though I shouldn't do because Timber's been quite poor recently in terms of his L5, but I could go Timber and I have the exact amount of points, lads, to play Enzo, which is absolutely crazy. 63 left. It leaves me on 0 points. Do you think I just go with that? Or do you think I'm being a bit stupid and I probably should play Dedic instead of Timber? And then obviously not use the 5 points that I have remaining. Or do you think I should let my OCD prevail and play Timber? So it caps out at 240 points. Let me know what you think. But I don't know. Dedic has been away with the national team, and so has Timber, to be fair. But I think Timber's like nailed. And I'm not saying Dedic is not, but I don't know. Dedic is more DA capable for sure. Timber, I don't know. Timber just needs to get his mojo back. Jonathan says Dedic and Enzo for me. Really interesting. Let me know what else everyone else thinks in the chat. I'd be interested to see, what the situation is there in terms of who you pick, because Jonathan says Timber's L15 is fake. Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. Let's have a little look. When was the last time he scored well? Sorare data, why aren't you working for us? Don't know what's going on there. Are we still alive? I hope we're still alive. Yeah, we are. We're back. We are back. Let's have a look at his L15. So L15. So in that L15, he's got 100, 78. He's got a 77 against Camber. 61. I don't know, Jonathan. I don't think it's as bad a pick as, I'm not here praising Timber, right? But why couldn't we see one of these 78s against Go Ahead Eagles? I don't really think, if we look at opposition scores, I mean, it's not terrible for a centre-back, but it's not great. I don't know. They have a great next 3 fixtures, Ajax. Go Ahead, Fortuna, Emmen. I don't know. I don't know what to think. He had a decent score against Feyenoord in a 3-2 loss. Yeah, I don't know, lads. I think I've got to go with Timber. I don't know why. I've got a sneaky feeling. Miguel says, I would go with Timber. At least he gets a 50. If he gets a 50-plus score. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. I think Ajax have a better chance of keeping a clean sheet than Salzburg, personally. And the odds sort of reflect that as well. SSV says Dedic does have a favourable match. Yeah, you could argue that for sure, but so does Timber. We can't sit here and say Timber doesn't. Really, they both do for sure. I don't know. Dedic has been weird recently. Every time I've played him, he's not. He's been good. So I think I played him I think I bought him just before this game. So I managed to get that game out of him. And then the next game he got a 31 AA. Obviously scored and got a 23 AA against Iceland. And then got a 19 AA against Slovakia, which is Obviously pretty decent in a 2-0 loss. But I don't know, some of these, like this 36, the 22, without a DA, I know there's a 35 here, but I do worry that, he is liable to pull a bit of a stinker. But so's Timber, I can't lie. Jonathan says, will Timber get over 56? Maybe. Will Dedic? Probably. But then, Jonathan, you do have to think, it doesn't actually, okay, not so much it doesn't matter, but if I play Dedic, I'm running a cap 235 team, right? So it kind of doesn't matter in a way, in the sense of like, I might as well use all the points. And I know you're going to say, well, the L15's a bit false on Timber in a weird way. And I'd argue it is. But ultimately, like, the 5 points difference in my brain, I kind of feel like I might as well take advantage of it. Even though you could argue that, Dedic might get a better score than Timber for sure. But I don't know. I just think Timber's probably, like, I might as well use, the better L15 player right now. I know you could argue, okay, well, on form, and form tends to relate to the last 5 games, really, which, Dedic has a way better L5, and he does, for sure. But then you got to think, international games are in that as well. Jardy says, Cap 3.5 with Dedic is better than a Cap 250. Well, it's not Cap 250 with Timber, though, is it? How is it Cap 250 with Timber? It's Cap 240 with Timber, right? With Enzo there, you should take the risk with Dedic. I don't know. I don't know if I need to take the risk. I don't think I do, honestly. I do think the Timber play is the better play. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with. I don't know if I agree with it. If Dedic was home, then I'd be a little bit more inclined. Well, I'd be way more inclined to play him, if I'm being completely honest. He's not at home, he's away. So, in my brain, I just think that it's a lot closer than it would be if he was home. Yes, he says, the one you don't pick will probably score higher, so no point in debating this so long. Yeah, it's a good point. It is a good point. Excuse me, yeah, it probably isn't worth the contemplation. I'm going to go with Timber, lads. My OCD is telling me that I need to. Just seeing that 0 out of 240 is just very satisfying, and I can't help but want to keep it that way. So we're going to go with those 5. We're going to go Brady, Timber, Enzo, Kulu, and where's Big Mickey Dooland? And Big Mickey. So there are 3 sort of most favourable lineups. The rest, obviously, we still have Costa, but we don't know what's going to happen with him. So what I'm going to do with Costa, I think I'm going to play an All-Star Rare Pro team, just in case Costa does play. And it's going to go something like this, right? We're going to go Costa in goals, the rest probably don't play. We're then going to go with Badia Shield, just in case he does play. For my forward option, I'm going to use Yorbe. Again, just in case he does start and maybe gets us a goal. In midfield, we're going to probably, we have to go with Frankie Amaya rare card. And then as our extra player, we're probably going to go with Dedic, I think. Yeah, we'll go with Dedic here, and we'll probably captain Dedic. Just in case Costa does play. It's a bit of a throwaway lineup. Obviously, it is a good lineup if they were all, sort of playing. We don't know that for sure. So, there is uncertainty around it. And yeah, that's kind of why I'm going to play it here instead of... I don't really want to play Cherokee against PSG and play an under 23 rare team. So, especially with Costa, you might not even play. So I'm just going to throw it into here, and whatever happens, happens. I'm not too fussed if Costa DMPs. I'm expecting it. I'm not going in with it with high expectations. I'm very fine with it. Not going my way. So they're kind of my 4 main teams. well, 3 main teams, and obviously the throwaway All-Star Rare Pro if Costa doesn't play. I'm going to throw in a kickoff unique team because I do have Zaidou Youssef, who has a good fixture. He's at home, so I will be playing him. Tanny's 50-50 on play sharper, so we're going to throw Tanny in here. Again, I'm not really expecting this team to do anything. We're going to throw Balde in just in case he gets off the bench. And then in here, Jean Mario's not going to be in the squad, I don't think. Ikeda could come off the bench, but he hasn't done so far. And I think in that case, I'm going to actually go with Isaac Lahaji, who plays away to Burnley. If you've got Burnley stacks, don't worry. Lahaji probably isn't going to do anything, if we're being honest. I'm just throwing him in there. This is basically a training lineup, lads, if I'm being honest. But I can win some so coins from it. So, yeah, that's kind of my thinking behind this. And then we're going to probably throw in Frankie and Maya. We're going to captain Zaidou. And that is kind of that. The rest of the teams that I'll throw out are basically just glorified training lineups. Obviously, designed to win some so coins. I will do a couple of my drafts. I'm not going to do any swaps. I'm just going to play with what I've got. But I'm going to go with Joe Willis away to Orlando. We're going to go Walker Zimmerman to pair with him. Aidan Morris in midfield at home to Salt Lake. Buanga and Copetti up front. I'm going to captain the boy Dennis Buanga. And then we'll do all the drafts. Why not? We'll do them all. Probably going to have to go with Bazunu here away to West Ham. Trippier or Purvis? This is an interesting one. Obviously, Trippier with a harder fixture, albeit at home. Purvis with the better fixture, but Brentford aren't no mugs at all. But he's been scoring pretty well recently. But I do worry if he has to do a lot, or he would have had to do a lot of travelling for Ecuador this international break. I'm not too sure how that'll plan out for him. But so in that case, I think I'm going to have to go with Trippier, just in case. Do I think Almada will play? What day do Atlanta play, Jonathan? I think that will give us a little bit more of an indication into if he'll play or not. We'll go Saka, Højbjerg, and Martinelli there. La Liga. Well, actually, before we do La Liga, lads, we're going to do, because I still have less than 10 limiteds, I can play the La Liga Semi-Pro with my special edition, Suso. So we're going to throw him in there. Ter Stegen in goals. Pau Torres at the back. Griezmann and Danny Parejo with Suso as captain. Kerry says, good call on Purvis. Going to change him out now. Yeah, I do worry about Purvis a little bit. Ricardo says, official. Sorare are going to include burning mechanism. How do you react on this? I'm guessing that's from John's video, right? I've heard a few rumours that they've mentioned this burn thing, but I'm just reading a group chat. Sounds like it's not close, though. Also, I think they're focused on making the club shop better and moving emphasis off card rewards and towards coins. Looking at first-time owner benefits on cards. New double game week rule. Okay, so they're going to improve the double game week. That's cool. Burn mechanism is good, but depends on how it's implemented. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how this burn mechanism is actually going to work in terms of... I mean, I know what a burn mechanism is. I just don't know how it's going to work on Sorare in that sense. But, I'm all for limiting supply of cards, if I'm honest, lads. Like, I am. If there's a way of turning, retired cards into... I don't know, 10 retired cards get you one limited card, whatever it is. I do think there's merit in that sort of in that sort of system. Let me know what you think on the whole burn thing. CJT, if you've got any MLS swaps yet, Indiana Vasilev is a great pickup. 39 out of 15. That's it, 50 plus twice in his MLS games. That's decent. That's very decent. Jonathan, they play on Sunday. Yeah, I'd be shocked if Almada didn't play if it's Sunday, Jonathan, if I'm being honest, mate. I would be shocked. I think he's probably worth the risk. I know you don't, I mean, we obviously don't want him to come off the bench, but even if he does, he's probably going to smash, if we're being honest. He's that good right now. I would trust him in anything. But I do think he'd start. I can't really see why he wouldn't. To be honest. We'll go Chao Henrique, Fofana, Messi, and we'll go Guendouzi, Captain Messi. As you can see, I don't really pay too much attention to these drafts, to be honest, lads. I mean, as long as they hit over like 300 points, I'm quite happy. Obviously, we'll get the so coins and move. I'm not really interested in winning anything here. We'll go player and we'll go Kimmich. We can't not play Kimmich, but we are going to captain Hoffman. Because why not? And then we'll do the Serie A. We'll go Meret at home to Milan. I prefer that, even though, excuse me, Milan are decent. Zakanji. We'll go Pedro, and we'll go Big Lewis Ferg. But we won't captain Lewis. Okay, all my drafts done. I'll obviously get my training done and stuff, tomorrow or something. I'm not really too bothered about that. The rest of the lineup, like I'll throw in a cap to 20 team for rare and super rare just to get some XP maybe, and well to get some so coins if we score over 100 points or whatever the thing is. Okay, I want to build some community lineup, so we're gonna go over and build Olympic. Where is he to? Olympic manager. How do we do this? So we go lineup building. Oh, somebody built my lineup for me. Interesting, lads. Was this one of you? Very interesting. I don't know who was this, but regardless, thank you. Yeah, how do I build someone else's lineup, lads? Sorry. I'm sounding very noobish here. Do we do it this way? Here we go. No? What, Danny says Ahmad has to play, no reason not to. I mean, the only reason he wouldn't is obviously travelling. Oh, Palson, it was you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I do like the shouts. Obviously, I don't think Balde's going to play, but I mean, aesthetically, the team looks really good. I'm not too confident on Balde starting, which is a bit unfortunate. But if he was to play, then I would have picked that team as well, to be honest, Palson. So, yeah, good on you there. Jonathan says if you want to build my under 23 lineup, you can. That can be helpful. Yeah, I'll help you do that, Jonathan. Lads, can we leave some likes on the old stream, please? That would be greatly appreciated. What was I going to say? And if you're watching on Twitch, I don't think you're going to be. I don't think anyone's watching on Twitch, if I'm honest. But if you are, do you subscribe over there? I don't know how it works, to be honest, lads. Oh. Hi, I want to offer promotion on your channel. I don't really know what that is. But, sorry, I was just reading some Twitter bot. Parson said I did them on Monday, I had nothing to do. I still appreciate it, mate. I do really appreciate that. Okay, lads. Olympic manager, what team did you want us to build? Was it an under 23 lineup? I'm just looking through. Okay, you didn't tell us. Yeah, so Olympic manager, if you're still here, please tell us what. Yeah, tell us what priority lineups are there for you. I don't know if do you have rare cards? No, so we're just limited. Let me know where your priority is first, and then we can get into some lineup build. And I won't do all your lineups, but we'll get through maybe one or two of the main ones. Let us know what you'd like me to build first. Do you have an under 23 gallery? Probably not. It doesn't look like. Okay. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know what what you want to prioritize, and we can kind of go from there. we'll just have a look at what we got going on here, right? So, I mean, I don't know if All-Star Limited is the competition that you want me to do first, but I'm just going to look through your players this way. So, obviously, we've got Liam Kelly. We've got Talavera. I'm guessing he plays in Mexico, maybe. Yeah. And then we've got Elo Room at home to Salt Lake. I do really like that fixture, to be honest. Defenders, we've got Brooks Lennon, Miles Robinson, Jesus Angelo. Okay, Felix Torres is there. Yeah, let me know what you'd like to enter first, and then we can kind of take it from there, to be honest, mate. But I don't know what your priority lineups are in terms of division, so you need to let me know that if you're still watching. If you're not still watching, then we'll maybe move on to Jonathan's, because there's no point in me building your lineup if you're not here. So let me know you're still here, and yeah, we can kind of obviously take it from there. But yeah, if we're going to do an All-Star Limited team, right, it's probably going to be, it probably has to be Elo Room for me here. I don't fancy Salt Lake to do much away to Columbus. Who is this guy? Let's have a look at his scores. So he scored a 54A on the weekend. Wow, that's incredible. Against Daegu. 3 tackles. 12 duels won. That's huge. Okay. Yeah, some decent scores there. They're at home to Potang Steelers. And obviously they're 4th. John Buck at 8th. So it's not going to be a gimme game. Where Miles Robinson is home to New York. How has he been scoring, Miles? I know he went away with the US team, which was nice to see for him. He didn't play against Columbus, which I'm not sure why. Paulson says, can you do my 240 Super? I'm really struggling to put in there. Yeah, I'll have a look at it in a minute, Paulson. Let's just, yeah. Paulson Beck is my username. Amazing. We'll get into that. We'll do Jonathan's, we'll do Paulson's. I don't know if we'll be able to do everyone's. Well, we won't be able to do everyone's, lads. But yeah, I don't know if Olympic Manager is still here. It doesn't look like he is. But regardless, we'll just do an All-Star Limited team for him, and then we'll just call it a day here with his team, and then we'll move on to other people's galleries. This Shin Jun Ho guy, he was like a bit of a beast, right? And then he kind of fell off a little bit. Yeah, he's fallen off the last few games. I don't really fancy picking him, to be honest. They're at home to Daegu. We've got Big Paxton Pomical, who didn't play last game as far as I'm aware. Let's have a little look. Yeah, he was sub. So he was an unused sub. But before that, he was scoring pretty well. And I do rate Paxton. And they're at home to Portland. We do have Zelarayan in here. But he will be coming from international duty. I'd like to think he's going to play. Let's have a look at... let's have a little look at this. Let me get rid of that. Let's have a little look. Is Zelarayan? Yeah, he's 90% down, right? We're picking Zelarayan. He has to be in there for us, sorry. He has to be in there. Go back to defenders. I do like Miles Robinson. I feel like that's probably the best bet here, if we're being honest. Yeah. I'm going to go Miles Robinson. Up front, we got Yimi Chara, Tony Watt, Oriel Herrera, Quinones. They're at home. I'd probably favour Atlas at home there, to be honest. Then I'd go... There's our extra. Either Paxton... How good is this Rojas fella? Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, we'll throw him in. I would probably go, just checking if there's anyone else down here. Evander's in there, okay. Enzo Perez. Cole Bassett's in there, okay. Yeah, I'd probably go with... I would go with that, and I'd probably captain Zelarayan. That would be my All-Star Limited team. So yeah, that's his All-Star Limited team out of the way. We'll do Jonathan's under 23 team next. Are you Sorare Israel on here? Yeah, you are. Oh, you're Jonathan. First, and then under 23 limited team, yeah? Okay, let's go. George Marks away to Toronto. I don't love it. I'd prefer to go with Mamadashvili, I think. Theo Sanders is away as well. Yeah, Paul Scamp away to Philly. I don't love that. Yeah, so Mamadashvili, nice and easy. Ooh, Alfonso at home to BVB. Don't know if I like that. Jack Mayer could be an interesting shout. Who's this guy? I've seen his name before, but I didn't know he moved to Como. Okay, so he's been scoring pretty well for Como, and they're away to Venezia. I think that could be, and he has a great bonus. Jesus. Yeah, you might have to go with him, Jonathan. Without looking any further, I'd probably go with Cass in there. You've got to go with Mano Solomon in here, no? Paulson likes Sunday against Horsens. Nah. I think you have to go Mamadashvili. Surely at home, good chance of a decisive, for the clean sheet, and he probably does make a few saves as well. I just don't know how you can't go there. I'm not saying Theo doesn't keep a clean sheet. He very well could, but I don't love that. Okay, Barriel has to. Oh, you got Oster Gluck. Oh, you've got some good choices here. You got some really nice choices. Ooh, Jonathan. Solomon captain. Okay, well, we'll have to play Solomon because I know you're going to play him either way, so there's no point me even not playing him. I don't think Brennan's going to play. He's day-to-day right now, Steve Cooper said, so I wouldn't risk him if I'm being honest. And if we're not going to risk him, then I think it might have to be Kulu. Like, I would play Brennan if I knew he was going to start, but I don't think he is. So I genuinely think, what's Schaffelberg been saying recently? Nah. I think you go Kulu. Parson says it's not the best, but if Sander keeps a clean sheet, it's guaranteed 90. That's always nice. That's always really, really nice. We're going to go Barreal because I've heard he's taken over set pieces from Luciano Acosta. That would be my under-23 team. Jonathan, let me know what you would do different. But that definitely would probably, would be that. For me, CJT said, would you recommend to prioritize MLS Pro or Champion America? So by MLS Pro, is that the limited competition? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, so MLS Pro is obviously one common card, 4 limiteds. You have to have a cap of 270. The prize pool is 200 cards, okay. Tier 1s from 2nd to 5th, okay. And then are you saying... and then Champion America. What's Champions America prize pool? Champion America. I mean, honestly, mate, it comes down to how good your matchups are for this weekend. Like, if you've got a goalkeeper that you fancy to have a good game, in terms of a limited goalkeeper, then prioritize your Champion America limited team. But if you're not confident on your goalkeeper choice, because I imagine if you are playing Champion MLS Pro, you're probably going to go in with a common goalkeeper, I assume, which gives you a lot more flexibility, of course, because you get the swap and you can kind of pick and choose a good matchup for every weekend, right? Where obviously Champion America, you only have so many limited goalkeepers. It's harder to get good matchups every week. So yeah, that's kind of So basically, what I'm saying is, if you've got a good limited Champ America goalkeeper for this weekend that has a good fixture, then I would prioritize Champ America Limited. If you don't, then I would go with MLS Pro, if that makes sense. Okay. So Jonathan says, yeah, I like that. Mama might go into Cap 2 for you, though. We'll see. Thanks, Harry. No problem at all, mate. Roland said, maybe move some dead wood around and get a good forward in your under-23 Limited. CJT says, fancy building my lines for them. We'll show you what I have at least. Yeah. Let's do that. So I've got CJTs to build. I've got Paulson. Paulson, we need to do yours next, don't we? Have I missed anyone else's? Don't think I did I? Let's go to Paulson's. And Paulson, did you want me to do your... Did you want me to do your, what was it, Cap 240 Super Rare, yeah? Okay, let's do it. So, lineup builder. Cap 240. Okay, let's do it. So, we have our goalkeeper, 44 L15. We don't have anyone else, and he's away to Cerezo Osaka. Okay. Connor JT is my surname. Yeah, we'll do yours in a bit, Con, for sure. Okay. Just looking at these choices, we've got 2 forwards to pick from, 2 midfielders, both with the same cost. We've got quite a few defenders, so we're going to go with 2 defenders, I imagine, because that's kind of, well, this guy doesn't look like he's going to play, so it looks like Salvio is probably our only choice here. Paulson, right, so we'll throw him in there. It doesn't look like that's much of a contemplation. We've got Matty Gooden. Okay, so he's come off the bench last game. Started 90 minutes in the rest of them. Couple of goals. Doesn't really get much AA otherwise. And then we've got Demata, who I'm actually quite familiar with because I have Magnus Madsen, who obviously plays for the same team. So yeah, it looks to me that this guy's probably the best bet. But he has a much bigger L15, so we'll have to work that out in a minute. Paulson says he's my only keeper, bought him for £100, and he got a loan move to start. That's brilliant. Want to take advantage of the Cap 240 whilst he's playing. Amazing, mate. The Bat 16. Hi, I'm new to Sorare. If I submit my teams on Sorare website, does it affect my Sorare teams if I pick them again on Sorare Data Squad Builder? No. Not difficult to understand, and the answer is no. They won't affect. Like, anything you do on Sorare Data is nothing to do with Sorare. So if your lineups are, if my lineups are in here, if that makes sense, then they're just in here, until I delete them. That's nothing to do with what they are on Sorare Data, if that makes sense. You can chop and change on Sorare Data as much as you want. Froge might play as well. Sharper has him at 8% coming back from a minor injury. Okay, interesting. Let's go with Demata. Well, problem is, yeah, I'd probably go with Godin here. Because I don't think spending 56 L15 on a player that's, a good player and scores pretty well and has been scoring pretty well against PSV is my issue, where I'd probably rather go with this Matty Godin fella who seems to play every game. And obviously if he scores, he gets his DA, and that's kind of what you're hoping for. But his L15 is pretty low, so you're kind of okay with it being at 44, right? Okay. Dino Mikanovic is at home. No, he's not. He's away. Excuse me. To Sibenik, okay. And then we've got Mamadou Fofana, who's away to Grenoble Foot. Bruno Amioni, he is away to Roma. I don't love that. Kevin Rodriguez is away to Galatasaray. And Zusi, he's been great recently. Zusi's been really good. Can we... I don't know. He's been scoring really well, but I just don't know if it's worth playing him in here. No, the Bat, you won't be able to get rewards off Sorare Data as well. Bassi says just put Mikanovic in there. Possibly. Has he been scoring well recently, right? I imagine. Yeah, okay, he got a goal. I plays right back. I see. Okay. What is his at? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So we've got an extra 62. We've got 62 points left to get someone else in. Mamadou Fofana stands out. If Zusi was, within the 62, then I'd probably go with him. I'd probably go with Fofana if I'm being honest. He was a DMP last game. Do we know why Fofana was a DMP last game? If we do, then that would help us out a lot. If we don't know, then obviously we'll avoid playing him. But I think this is the best setup so far. And then obviously it's just trying to find out who the extra player needs to be. Like I said, I would have liked the Zusi shout, but obviously his L15 is too high. Demata, I would like Demata, but his fixture isn't great. 3 short points for Zusi. Yeah, that is going to be a little bit a little bit of a frustrating one for the Zusi. If we know Fofana's going to play, and let me see what play Sharper has for Fofana, because I think there's 2 Fofanas. So forgive me for being ignorant, but what are the points doing? So the points in this are basically referring to how much of the cap we can use. So you get 240 points worth of L15s. So, the L15s are here. And, the 5 players that you choose have to be within 240 points, basically, to be eligible to play in this division. It can't be over. Paulson said, I'm not sure why Fofana was out, maybe because they played midweek before. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I probably am quite confident he would play this time around after the international break. Was he too? Yeah, I think you got to go with Mamadou. Oh, wait, there's 2 Mamadous. Which one do you have? You have the defender one? Okay, no, you have this one, right? I would do this. That would be my Cap 240 Super team for you, Paulson, to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of where I'd be looking at. How's Kevin Rodriguez been scoring? Very well. Very, very well. Obviously, we could see here they lost quite heavily to Trabzonspor. That would be my only issue with this one is, yeah, he might score well, but I'm worried the Galatasaray romp Adana, and that would obviously result in him, 1, losing a clean sheet, and 2, losing 4 points every time they concede, right? So that would be my, that would be my worry there. Yeah, Bassi says that team can hit 250 points when everyone plays. Yeah, I agree. I think this team is very capable of hitting 250 points. So yeah, Paulson, I hope that helps you somewhat. Okay, CGT is next. We're going to do your... Connor, JT. Okay, lineup builder. Do commons show up in lineup builder? They should do, right? Right, we'll build your Champion America team, see what that can do, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, you got Roman Berkey in there. I like that. Oh, you've got some good limited players. So yeah, I would concentrate on America Limited, to be honest, mate. From just glancing at your players so far. This is an interesting one. JT got on a clean sheet last week, didn't he? They're at home to Houston. But St. Louis are at home to Minnesota. Ooh. I don't know what I like more there. That's a really tricky one. I'll get back to that. Okay, some nice defender shouts. There's no... Well, apart from Kevin Lidham, there's no defensive stacks at all. So we're just looking for one defender that can kind of smash for us. I like Tafari a lot. How's Tristan Blackman scoring so far? Apparently very good. So 29 AA with a goal. He's been okay. Yeah, I wouldn't really trust that. I like this guy a little bit more. Yeah, he scored. Yeah. That's interesting. That is interesting. How is Kevin Leodum? They play Seattle though, and I don't love that as a fixture. But they've also, I don't like that. He got DMP last week. I'd go to Fari in here. I'd go with some good players here, mate. Jesus. Adam Morris has been insane recently. It's just hard not to want to go with him. But then you've got Gressel and Herrera as well, who are both beasts. Cunha said, can you help me with my under 23 Super team? My name is Ricardo24. Yeah, we'll do that, Ricardo, for sure. We'll get that done. I'm going to be live for the next 10 minutes because I want to watch the Sorare data stream. So I'll go off in the next 10 minutes, basically. We've been streaming an hour and 20 minutes. CJT, Minnesota have an easier fixture so far. I think 4th is a bloated position. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. But then you could also argue, I know St. Louis have been great so far, but you just never know. Their streak might come to an abrupt end. But I think Berkey's probably the best best shout for now in there. Ooh, this is tough. Morris, Herrera, Gressel. Oh, this is so tough. Really, really tough. Gressel's been great. They play at home as well to Montreal. Part of me wants to leave out Aidan Morris, but then I think, am I being stupid? Am I being stupid? Because he's been great, but I don't know. Because, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, Herrera's on set pieces as well. And I know they're away from home. I think Gressel has to be in there. Ooh, Klaus has to be in here. Yeah, this is an obvious one. This is a good team. Like, really good team. The bat says Morris all day. Yeah, Morris has been good. But this is like Morris has been really good. But I don't know. Like, first game of the season, 9 AA. I don't know. Obviously, he's been great. So, the last 3 games, for sure. But I think it's hard to leave out Hector Herrera. I think it's really, really hard. Had a convo with Room about Morris. He's been impressed so far. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Morris in the last couple of games. He's been really, really good. Matthew says, do you think Morris with Tolo and Alex Roldan are a good stack? I mean, I'd only count a stack if they play for the same team. Obviously, Tolo and Roldan do. Seattle are away from home this weekend to LA. LA aren't great right now. They are struggling to score goals, so you might get the clean sheet out of Tolo and Alex Roldan. So yeah, I'd probably call that a decent stack for sure this week. Matthew, okay, extra player. Is Herrera or Morris? I know on form, but then you can't say that. You can't say Morris on form because Herrera has a better L5. Boys, I think we have to go. Honestly now, I think I'd leave out Morris. I think I would go with that. And Morris doesn't have any bonus. That would be the team I go for. And I'd probably captain Gressel or Klaus. Probably Klaus. Basil says skip Gressel. Yeah, Jeffy says Herrera. Yeah, I think it has to be Herrera for me, definitely. You could. There's an argument maybe to get rid of Gressel for Morris, maybe. If you were to do that, I wouldn't be too disheartened. Yeah, Ronald says Herrera takes sets, workhorse. Yeah, completely agree. Herrera has to play in there for me. That would be my team for that. And then if I want to, MLS Pro, I would go with, let's have a look here. Did I not just pick? Did it not save? No, it didn't save. Let me do that again. Let me do that again. Save. And then MLS Pro. So who do we have up front? We've got to throw. Oh, you have a Klaus as well. Well, we'll have to throw Aidan Morris in here. We do have a cap though as well, don't we? We need to look out for. But we'll go Tristan. I'll probably. When this. Paulson says, Gressel banging in 100 against Montreal. Very true. OTI says, Gressel and Morris on fixtures. Yeah, fair enough on the fixtures. I do get that. CJT said, my common pick for MLS Pro was Vasilev, low L15. Looks to have already broken into the start in XI. Okay, let's say we throw in John McCarthy. And then up front, we could go. I don't love the options here. We might have to play one of the. Play the rare version. Go with Buanga. And then we've got 59 points to play with, right? And then we could go... Who have we got left? Unless you want to, like... Oh, you said you wanted to use Vasilev. Yeah, I mean, we don't really need to use him, really, do we? Unless you want to do... Basil says pick Klaus. Okay, we'll pick Klaus. We'll do it. We'll pick Klaus and then we can throw in... what do we need? 40. Could go Kiri Shelton. We could go Jay Lindsay. Could do that. That looks pretty decent. Okay, I'm going to go over to Ahmed. Say, what do I think about Bournemouth Fulham? I think Fulham win that game, to be honest. I think it'll be tight. Oh, the L15 is too much. No. Well, we don't have anyone this L. We could go Kiri Shelton, but that's not a great situation. Klaus is Klaus. Maybe we can get rid of him and go. We could potentially. We could go Jay Lindsay. Then we have 46 to play with. No, not really. To be fair, I previously had limited Klaus in this, so now he's using Champ America. It makes more sense to not use him. Thanks for the help. No worries at all, man. No worries at all. Yeah, we could play Rapso in there. That could work. But I wouldn't really worry about this team too much. Like, your main priority is that. This is kind of where you're going to, look to score like a good 400-plus score. Like, the couple of these players you have here are very capable of doing so, Con. So, yeah, wish you all the best for that, mate. We're going to do one more, lads, and that is the... Let me see where it is. Somebody commented. They want me to do their Super Under 23 lineup. Where has that comment gone? Oh, here we go, Ricardo. Ricardo 24. We'll do Ricardo's, and then we're going to call it a day, lads. I'm going to go watch the Sorare data live stream. Okay, let's go. Okay, it looks like we only have one goalkeeper choice. I'm guessing Johanson's going to be on the bench. Ooh, your Pavlovic. Yeah, I like the look of that. Owen Winder. You got some nice options here, mate. Really nice options. Tolkien's a decent shout. So is Wendell, but Pavlovic just screams out to me. Oh, you've got Yari. You've got Yari like myself. R.I.P. R.I.P. Yari. What is this guy like? Yeah, he's okay. I would go Cole Bassett. Ooh, Tuakavin and Vitesse. Oof. I fancy Tuakavin here, and he has a good bonus. I think I would go double forward, genuinely. Like, I know I'm not prioritizing my Vitesse, but I'm not playing under 23 Rare Pro, so I'm not playing against you this week. I have no bias in this. I would probably go with Vitesse in here, if I'm being honest. It's either Vitesse or Tolkien. But Tolkien away to Atlanta might not be a good recipe. And yeah, mate, I would honestly do that. And I would captain Pavlovic. That would be my team. Let me know if you'd agree. Bassett is questionable. Okay, that changes things. Well, I guess we have to then go with this guy. Whoever he is, I'm not really too sure. But Windle against go ahead. Yeah, it's an option, Bassy, but he hasn't done enough for me to really warrant, me picking him, if I'm being honest. Like, he just doesn't score that well. Or hasn't been scoring that well. That's not to say he can't score that well this weekend. But he just, right now I'd be picking him because of his name. Like, I can't pick him on what he's doing on the field, unfortunately. So I think there's more upside in Vitesse and maybe scoring a goal and getting you an 80 rather than, looking for like a 30 AA from Windle. But you said, yeah, but with Heitinger, he will turn it around, I guess. Yeah, I'm not doubting that, but I don't know if that'll be this weekend, But yeah, that would be my team. I'd probably, if Bassett plays, then I'd rather play Bassett. But yeah, other than that, I think you're pretty set to go there, mate. I don't think there's much else we could really do. Some nice options though: Pavlovic, Tuakavin, Vitesse, I don't know, Bong Su, and then the J League goalie as well. But a decent team. A decent team on its day. Pavlovic with like a 40 to 50 AA would be very, very nice for you. Get you over like 120, 130 points. And then, 2 DAs here and a nice AA from your midfielder and maybe a clean sheet. You're basically there, aren't you? That's kind of what needs to happen for you. Okay, lads, I'm going to go off now and I'm going to start the Sorare data stream. So maybe I'll see you guys over there in the comment section. Please do leave a like on the stream, lads. It is very much appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed watching me build my lineups and obviously watch me build your guys' lineups as well. I don't think I'll have a team for next midweek, but next Thursday, I'll definitely do this again, and we can do some more lineup building. So I do really appreciate your time, and I'm going to leave it there, lads. Hopefully see you over